4, 3, 2, 1.
Okay, welcome to the program, folks. It is October the 14th. You're with the Editor-in-Chief live with Esther's Oil, your multi-ingredient omega-3 healthy aging supplement backed by thousands and thousands of satisfied customers. 6 supplements in 1 capsule, supports joint, heart and brain health. Take as directed. Read the label. About Health, Auckland.
Duncan Garner, live.
All right, good evening, everybody. I'm Duncan Garner. Send us your messages and post it on TikTok, YouTube. It's all there. Tonight, we can all spot a shallow fake a mile away, can't we? You might have worked with one. Maybe your country's led by one. But you can spot a deep fake, realistic looking and sounding, but it's made up. With the way AI is now, it's all made up. It's everywhere. It's highly sophisticated, but almost anyone can now do this. In short, this is fake news on big boy pills, and you can barely spot the difference. So it looks like me, sounds like me. It's my picture, my voice. But hang on, why am I promoting Bitcoin? Exactly. I never knew I was, but it's true. It's a true story, that one. True, but fake, actually. The trick is not to be fooled by this, which is easier said than done. Before we do this, I have a message from former President Obama before we head to Sydney for our interview.
We're entering an era in which our enemies can make it look like anyone is saying anything at any point in time, even if they would never say those things. So, for instance, they could have me say things like, Killmonger was right. Or Ben Carson is in the sunken place. Or, how about this? Simply, President Trump is a total and complete dipshit. Now, you see, I would never say these things, at least not in a public address, but someone else would. Someone like Jordan Peele. This is a dangerous time. Moving forward, we need to be more vigilant with what we trust from the internet. It's a time when we need to rely on trusted news sources. It may sound basic, but how we move forward in the age of information is going to be the difference between whether we survive or whether we become some kind of fucked up dystopia. Thank you. And stay woke, bitches.
Yeah, that's it. That's what we're looking at, folks. That's what we're dealing with. Tonight, we go deep into deep fakes, otherwise known as This Is the Effing Fake News, okay? Let's rip into it.
Duncan Garner, live.
Okay, so AI deepfakes. Stacey Edmonds is deep into deepfakes and is here to help us spot what is getting more and more difficult to identify. This is the fake news on rocket launches, and tonight is a study in how to spot fake news. Stacey lives and breathes deepfakes from her base in Sydney. She is an AI and a deepfake educator and helps people fall into the trap. You see, she helps them she stops them falling into the trap. I spoke to Stacey a little earlier today. Stacey, nice to have you here. Welcome along to the podcast. What is it? We've got the rise and rise of the deep fake. So what is it? So people don't understand what deep fake and this AI generation is. What is it?
Oh, lovely to meet you, Duncan. Deep fake. So deep fake is either an image or a face where someone is pretending to be somebody else. So, for example, someone could deepfake you, which I believe has happened in the past, and put words into your mouth.
It's
and
so
they're
easy.
deepfaking you. I might say a deepfake is using synthetic media for nefarious purposes, and a digital twin is using digital media for good purposes.
So give people an example. So I come along. In the past, I've been selling Bitcoin, apparently. I've been recommending people buy Bitcoin and you can become wealthy like me. I've got millions of dollars and 10 cars in my basement. That's what it says. That's what I had on Facebook. People believed it for years.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we're talking about, aren't we?
Yes, absolutely. It's prolific, and because of generative AI, very, very easy to make. Very easy to make. So before, you'd have to be in Hollywood, or you'd need an enormous computer, and you would need lots of data to create us synthetic humans. But of course now, because of generative AI, it can be done in seconds, and it can be done from content from the internet. So because you are online, your voice, your image is all online, and you only need 30 seconds or 3 seconds of your voice to do a fake voice. So for example, if you answer your telephone and you go, "Oh, hi, it's Stacey speaking," my voice can be taken and then used for nefarious purposes for someone pretending to be me, calling a friend of mine in real time. So it's not just what you see filmed online, which is what happened to you. This would be someone actually pretending to be you in real time talking to somebody else.
Yeah, see, this is scary, and I hope it does scare people because that might wake them up to this. Because you think of how many images people have of themselves on the internet. People are addicted to social media. They're addicted to hearing their own voice. They're addicted to seeing their own image. It is everywhere. My voice and image are everywhere over the last 30 years on the internet, even though it hasn't even been around that long in New Zealand. So we are so vulnerable, aren't we? And who are they targeting, and how exposed are New Zealanders?
New Zealanders, like everywhere, are very exposed. It's really interesting, actually, that the research that's been commissioned by MasterCard highlights in the past year that the threat has dramatically increased. Now, we know from that research that it's 29% of New Zealanders have been targeted and 10% have fallen prey. But Duncan, those are the people who've reported it and who know. So if I said to you, have you reported every time that you've seen a deepfake? Have you reported every time that you know that someone has set up somebody else's Facebook account or somebody else's Instagram account and they can't get that account taken down and they're pretending to be someone else?
How much are we paying? How much have we handed over? Are we handing over millions of dollars?
Millions of dollars, tens of millions of dollars, globally trillions of dollars. Like literally trillions of dollars. And for New Zealand, it's in the tens of millions. Again, hard to completely quantify because we have to go on what we know and what people have reported to. And it's really interesting that the research was commissioned was really saying about the difference between if 29% of people are being targeted with 10% of people falling prey. That's actually quite a large number of people.
Yeah. And how do they hand over the money? How are we fooled into this? What do we have to do next?
Well, what we need to do, number one, is recognize what a deepfake is, what it looks like, what it feels like. And, sometimes, the ones of you, when you watch them, is your voice a bit off?
It wasn't using voice at this stage. This was a few years back before they started to use the voice AI. Now they could easily do it. Now they would easily do it. But I was standing there and it was with a text, with a script, and I was in front of fancy cars and Bitcoin images and everything. And here I was, rich and famous, and I recommend it to you. And people would email me every day saying, hey, you're into this, great. I'm going to back it because you've backed it, And I'd be like, oh, mate, this is not me. But people are fooled,
Well, the thing is, okay, so we need to trust the world around us. Otherwise, we're going to be little paranoid bunnies in a corner, yeah? So we believe the images and we believe the text and the media is out there. And we're listening and learning all the time. That's what humans do. But the new skill we need to learn is digital literacy and critical thinking. We need to be able to look at an image and go, has that got a... like an Instagram image, has that been done up? Is it real? Has it been generated in generative AI? Have you gone into like any of the large language models and just typed your name in and said,
yeah, I have
please
seen
create?
Yeah, I have seen this. And so how would you know? How would the naked eye, the vulnerable, naive, innocent, run-of-the-mill naked eye, pick this, spot it, realise it?
Right now, at the moment, ways to do it. I always, working with MasterCard, we thought what would be good to come up with an acronym because we love a memorable acronym, don't we? So, fake. So look at the face. Some of the videos at the moment they've been taken from, say, your podcast or a TV channel. And so the words in it looks like everything is still on, just your mouth is moving. So it looks a little bit odd. Listen to the audio. Sometimes it can be a bit static with odd pauses.
Yes.
Knowledge. Would the words that are coming out that person's mouth, would that person say it?
And is it too good to be true?
Is it too good to be true? Because someone's not going to guarantee you a 300 zillion% return. No one is going to guarantee you a return on cryptocurrency.
And would I normally be doing this? Would I, as you just said, let's pick up on that point. Would this person normally be doing this? Are they really in this game of pushing these government bonds when they've had nothing to do with this ever before, and then suddenly here they appear in front of the American, the Reserve, the Fed Reserve, and they're pushing American bonds? Really?
And again, it's the too good to be true, as you said before. If it's too good to be true, no one's going to promise that, because we can't promise returns. And to the point of if it becomes personal. So from a knowledge perspective, if you're on a call and it's, like a, hey, mum, I've lost my phone, or you think you're talking to someone, but you're not quite sure, have a code word. One of my top one tips on the MasterCard Scam Secure in 60 Seconds website on YouTube is have a code word. It's a little bit James Bond. It's like, what's the code word? I made a code word with my sons. And one of my eldest, he said, oh, can it be pterodactyl? And I said, no, I can't. You're going to need an easier one. Ask them a question that only they would know. And if in doubt, the number one behavior, don't do anything. Don't step away. Don't invest. Verify. Put the phone down. Call them back.
Yeah.
It feels off. We need to learn that.
I think the password is a brilliant idea, and this is so often used in families with kids. If you're in trouble, I just want to hear the word, wolf. Wolf. Dad, wolf. Wolf, I'm in trouble with that. That means trouble, But it's so, I know it seems so basic, but it's so smart as well, where are you, wolf? That means I'm in trouble. Whatever it is, I don't know. I just made that word. But you know what I'm saying. So I thought you're bang on the money. Are businesses getting hit? How often do businesses get hit compared to ordinary day Kiwis?
Businesses are getting hit, and businesses are getting really hit in New Zealand. So we're looking at a 48% rate.
48% of businesses are getting hit? Yeah.
It's significant, and it's so every day. That's why I think that the research is hard to quantify the amount. Do you see what I mean? Like, this is what is being reported. But I've noticed in research as well that younger people it's just a part of life now.
Yeah. What so young people, when you say part of life, they can pick it up, they easily notice it, or they're involved?
It's kind of like, oh, that's just a scam,
Yeah.
That's just a scam, because they're noticing the filters. They know when someone has been, touched up or filtered. And so when they see a deepfake image, often they seem really, really smooth and filtered.
Yeah.
And not quite real, a little bit uncanny valley. And I think because younger people are playing more in that digital media space, they notice it a bit more.
Yeah, well, I get emails every few days offering me $2,000 to $3,000 to appear on these American podcasts. It's not true, because I read the text and I think no one would approach me like this. Hello, good day, sir. It's just not right. It's just a bit unusual, It's just a bit. It's a bit AI generated.
And the thing is, scamming is it's a numbers game. So it used to take quite a long time, say, to create a sophisticated deepfake, whereas now it's seconds. And so the proliferation is huge. And so you just hit more people. And like that instance you're talking about, that probably hit millions of people.
Yeah.
But you're being specifically targeted because of your skill set and what you do.
Older people are getting hit because they're sort of seen as vulnerable. They don't understand the technology, whereas compared to the younger people, as you just mentioned, so grandparents, our parents are getting targeted.
Yes, and everyone I speak to really talks to about they have become, especially my age, sort of sandwich generation with teenagers and parents, that they've become the IT support.
Yeah.
The parents are saying, is this a scam? I don't know. I don't know what to do now. I'm a little bit worried, and have become very distrustful of the digital world. And we've seen that from the research commissioned as well by MasterCard, that people's trust in digital media has reduced because, well, I don't really know what to believe anymore. And then for older people who also are targets because they may have property or investments or superannuation funds.
Yeah, I see you. Just before we go, just run through the FAKE again, the acronym there, because I think it was so useful and so helpful for people. So if they're just catching up with this podcast now, listen to this next bit, because this is the bit that can help you identify what we're talking about here.
So if we're looking at a video, look at the face. Is it a bit weird, or is just the mouth moving? Does it seem a little bit disjointed? Listen to the audio. Is it a bit disjointed? Because sometimes video is taken and the face and the audio together doesn't quite match. Knowledge. Would they be saying that? And if it's a personal relationship, is there something that you can ask them that only they would know? And emotion. We didn't do emotion before. The emotion part is what they're saying linked to the emotion on their face? Because if you take a video and then change the words, often the emotion doesn't match.
Yeah, I hear you. It's been great talking to you and catching up with you. This is so crucial and so vital that we get on top of this. Will there one day, my final question, will there one day be a filter that can block this sort of stuff? Will we be able to somehow get this filtered out of our systems?
I think my understanding of what's happening and the whole holistic approach that's coming forward is I think there'll be a watermark, that if it has been AI generated, there will have to be some indication that there's generative AI has been involved in the making of this film. However, that will not always be the case for those people who are making that media for nefarious purposes. So being able to critically think and teach yourself what's happening in the world, of going, what is the source? Where has this come from? Does it feel a bit odd? But in the end, don't do anything. Don't do anything. Yeah. If you're being asked for something, or you need to invest, or someone's, just stop, take a pause, and work out how you're going to verify whether that's real.
Walk away. Great advice in life, actually. Walk away.
Just walk away. Step away.
Exactly. I can confirm that this is a real interview. I'm real. You're real. Okay. Thank you very much for your time. I really appreciate it.
It's myself. It's not really me.
Okay. The emotion is linked to your face. I can see it. Thanks, Stacey. Okay.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Bye.
Ta-da. Bye-bye.
Duncan Garner, live.
Yeah, it's scary. It's fascinating. It's scary with election campaigns and everything. I mean, Trump could be not Trump, but you can easily get his voice, get his images, and away you go. Obama, well, you saw that bit earlier. That wasn't him. They just put that together. Isaac, what do you reckon? I mean, could you do it? Could you whack something out? Isaac runs the show.
I don't think I could. I think, or maybe, I'm sure there's something online I could put together something, but it wouldn't be particularly compelling. I think you would have to do some genuine, actual work to get it working properly.
True.
But actually make it convincing.
But the tools are there now, right? It's no longer big companies doing it. It's just guys in the street doing it.
Yeah, it's people in their basement that need an extra buck, and so they ask the public from the face of another person.
People like my mum would just be fooled by that. I mean, Obama it looked and sounded like him, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Pretty scary.
Yeah, all right.
3 questions from the editor-in-chief.
Right, time for 3 questions. Leave your answers as well in the comment section. It's number 1, is the America's Cup coming home? Well, it looks like it, doesn't it? 3-0. New Zealand's doing this in a canter. A few more wins and they bring it home. Matter of maybe 2 days away, and we win it. I got up the other night to see what all the fuss was about. I saw a few boats on the water, but Auckland would have had more boats because we've got skin in the game. Barcelona is pumping, apparently, but wouldn't any place be pumping who had this thing? I mean, 2 a.m. races. 2 a.m. in the morning. New Zealanders are expected to get up and watch this thing live. We're fast asleep. Grant Dalton couldn't have designed it to be any worse than it is for Kiwis. Did he for one moment think what time New Zealanders might be getting up to watch this stuff? Sure, a few Kiwi yachties and hangers-on are there, But seriously, is it really all that? Don't get me wrong, Burling, Chuk and the team, brilliant. But I'm going to keep saying this, it was treasonous and underhand and selfish to take it offshore. Is it really Team New Zealand or is it corporate New Zealand? And using Dalton's theory, we would host nothing in New Zealand ever again. Dalton never tried to look at the counterfactual because his mind was made up right from the start. I know I've gone on about this, but I feel deeply bloody pissed off about it. I know we like to think that St John's or Hatahuni St John's are pretty good, and they are, but the Health and Disability Commissioner has found that they got one called out really wrong, and the man died. It dates back to 2020, with a man suffering classic heart attack symptoms, and St John's never sent an ambulance, believing he was breathing okay. So they didn't prioritise him. The truth is he was dying, and he did. When his wife gave up waiting, she drove him herself, and it went pear-shaped. This wasn't about lack of ambulances. This was poor human practice and failure to follow rules. in St John. At number 3, Hipkins and Luxon. The latest polls are out and they're both gone backwards. Why? Because they're both utterly uninspiring. Hipkins is a place warmer for another day, and Luxon, major blunder, was a howler, wasn't he? Saying he was wealthy and, yeah, he's sorted. What a thing to say in the midst of a cost of living crisis that he was sorted. Could you be any more tone deaf? I mean... I'm sorted. Yeah, most of the rest of the public aren't. We've heard it, and the people are reporting back in the polls. I'm sorry, pal. They're not overly impressed, Mr. Luxon.
Duncan Garner, live.
That is for sure. Right, as you know, we've partnered up with About Health, who support this podcast. Without them, it'll be ta-ta, because you have to wipe your bum, as they say in this game now. So you have to be sponsored, or get lots of government taxpayer money if you're Radio New Zealand or something like that. But we're not like that, so I have to rely on the private sector to support me. So this podcast wouldn't go ahead without About Health, and they do a great job. Without them, as I say, we wouldn't exist, and we appreciate it. Tonight we look at their product ResV, and I spoke to Julie from About Health just a bit earlier today. Okay, we're joined now by Julie, and before we talk about ResV Ultimate, this is the first product of About Health. So who is About Health? What's their background?
Yeah, ResV Plus actually is the one that started it all, which is the predecessor to the ResV Ultimate. So it was 19 years ago. Dan, who's a scientist, he was actually looking for ingredients to help his mum's health. His mum was really, really sick. And he came across resveratrol, and there wasn't that much known about it back then. And he was like, oh, this looks really good. So he formulated ResV Plus, as it came to be called, with other nutrients, of course, and it really helped his mum. She started giving it to her friends. Various things that they had started to improve. They felt much better, and that's kind of how it was born.
And the word of mouth, that really got around, didn't it? That this was working because his mum, from what I read, did really well after that.
She did.
Yeah.
So it's amazing. It was just this beautiful little story of meeting this need for a small group. Actually, turns out lots of people benefit from it.
And here we are 19 years later with the original product still. What is it?
Well, okay. Well, the ResV Plus is the original. We're going to talk more about the Ultimate, but the Plus is still around because it is still a good product. But the hero ingredient in it is resveratrol. So you might know that.
What is that? So when we stand here talking about this, and my eyes sort of start rolling around. What is that?
What is resveratrol?
Yeah.
It's a compound found in plants. A lot of people know of it as the red wine nutrient. There's not that much in red wine, okay? I would not recommend that as your source of resveratrol. So
because where did I read this? But to have the same impact as ResV Ultimate, you'd have to drink something like 42 bottles of red wine.
Yeah, I don't remember the number, but it's excessive. You're going to be very sick from lots of other things,
which won't make you feel good afterwards.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
well, this packs a punch then, right?
Yeah. Look, there's other foods that you can get it from too, like peanuts and berries and things like that. But we get it from a plant, and obviously we concentrate it, so you get a nice good dose in there. But we've got other nutrients in there too. We've got pine bark extract, grape skin, grape seed extract, green tea, and curcumin, which a lot of people
you've developed this product from the original back to the ultimate. So it's now even better.
That's right.
Yeah. What's it likely to do for you? I mean, what sort of ailments and that would you have that this might help you with?
Yeah. Again, people talk to me about joint health because that's what they feel. That's one of the main things. Actually, the first thing people tell me mostly about with the ResV Ultimate, energy. They feel more energy. Yeah. Which is a delightful one.
Isn't it good to hear that?
Oh, absolutely. But the way I think of it, because I'm a bit of a nerd, is it's an antioxidant and an anti-inflammatory, and it supports the health of your cells. So that's how it helps with aging. We've got between 10 and 100 trillion cells in our body. So a bit of variation
There's
there.
a bit going on.
Yeah, there is. And so if you're looking after your cell health, then you're going to have all these profound benefits.
You talk about inflammation there. What does it do there?
Yeah, well, it's helping to bring levels of inflammation down, which is so important. I mean, inflammation is a helpful tool, but when it goes on, chronic inflammation...
It's a worry.
It's a worry.
Yeah. It's a worry for your heart, isn't it?
Oh, everything, pretty much. Yeah.
A lot of customers actually combine ResV Ultimate with Lester's oil. Why is it a good idea?
You're getting such a great range of nutrients for a start, right? So it's the variety, but they really double down on the healthy aging, the heart health, bit of support for brain health, joint health. It just kind of adds more to it.
Yeah, but you'd have to be eating well at the same time. You can't. This is not sort of this wonder replacement that you can't. You can then go on a binge somewhere else, isn't it? You must support it with decent living.
100%. So if you can get your nutrients from food first and foremost, that is always the best. But we know.
But it's so hard to do.
And there's gaps. We look at how agriculture has changed, and the nutrients in our food are less than they used to be. Plus, we maybe maybe don't eat all the things we should.
This ResV, if you look at the European or that Greek sort of diet, the Mediterranean diet, if you look at that, this is almost a sort of replacement for that, isn't it?
Well, I would
We
say
wouldn't go that far?
No, I wouldn't go as far as to say a replacement, but it sort of works maybe on some of those principles. They have a lot of the fish oil. Obviously, is a good part of Mediterranean diet too.
Yep.
But lots of antioxidants, lots of fresh food, fresh fruit, fresh
So it's
vegetables.
cleansing. So it's cleansing for your body too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Just looking at some of the reviews here online, I've just jumped on here, and this is what Catherine says. I can't be without it. I've been taking ResV for a whole year now, and my immunity has never been better. I didn't notice a sudden difference, but I realised after a few weeks that I'd gotten sick and always used to. I had way more energy. I generally felt so well in myself. I've barely had a sniffle for a whole year, so it's clearly boosted my immunity and kept me healthy. Love it, says Catherine.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
And I would never think of resveratrol as primarily an immune agent. You know what I mean? I always think of like your echinacea or your olive leaf and all these other things.
Sure.
But there's some really interesting
See,
studies.
that interests me too, because we all want to be immune from, flus and coughs and colds and diseases and things. This is something that can help.
Yeah, if you're really excited about this sort of stuff, you can jump onto a place like PubMed. That's a database where you can look at all the published papers and stuff. Look up resveratrol, look up
Really?
certain viruses, and you'll find there's some studies around it.
It's
really
interesting here too. Eye health. This is from Trish. She says, Duncan, my eyesight had been deteriorating for some time. The last year, my right eye had become quite blurred. After taking ResV, I feel there's been considerable improvement. I've been taking the caps for only a couple of months, and I'm thrilled. About Health is a very ethical company providing excellent research. Cheers, Trish.
Awesome.
Not bad.
I'd put that down probably to the antioxidant and the circulation benefits. You know what I mean? And the less is oil, we've got the lutein and zeaxanthin, which are real specific nutrients for the eyes.
But if you've got twitches in your eye and you can't see, you're starting to get blurred vision, and then you don't, something's working.
Absolutely. Yeah. You can't knock that,
Have
right?
you got some more reviews there?
Yeah, I do. Let's see. What a difference. Recently, I was told I needed hip replacements. I went through a stage where I felt I could barely walk. A friend loaned me a spare walker she had. I bought a walking stick and I had injections. There was a slight improvement, but it was only when I tried the ResV Ultimate. People were amazed how I was walking, even without a stick. I've just ordered another supply. Thank you so much, About Health. Lynn.
Yeah, you've got to jump on their website as well. It's abouthealth.co.nz. 0800 999 309. Get hold of them, and they've got all the products you need.
Duncan Garner, live.
Yep, that's Judy from About Health. I said naturalist, naturopath. Yeah. Duncan, bit of feedback came in from YouTube. Duncan, we spend a lot of money on Auckland during COVID as well. Did we get value for money? Well, no, because they didn't race it here. We've lost all that spend, probably $1 billion to Spain. Duncan, the article from the Emirates boss is online. I suggest you go read it. I have read it. It's not coming here. Auckland America's Cup was hamstrung, says MB, and impacted by COVID. What's the excuse now for not bringing it home? Well, because there's money in their back pockets. That's what it is. It's money in their back pockets. So they've done it. It's a backhander. Luxon's out of touch and out of his depth, is what Tama has said. Time for a property tax, Luxon, says Christian. And James has said, I'm going to get slaughtered, but we need to lose. Oh, James, you think we need to lose? I've read from Emirates Boss that if we win the next regatta, it will be offshore again. No intention to bring it back. Well, I reckon it's treasonous. So what do we have here if you don't have this? Can we have anything? Can we have anything? Which takes me to my next point.
Duncan Garner, live. It's the slam dunk.
There we go. It is the slam. King Charles. Let me move on to him. King Charles and Queen Camilla will visit Samoa and Australia next week and stay 8 days between the two countries. It coincides with the Commonwealth Heads of Government Conference. Now, we've been snubbed. And I think it's poor form. I know he's been crook, but he gets the best care. Let's be honest. He's coming all this way. What's a couple of days in New Zealand while he's down under? He's in the neighbourhood. He's in our hood. He's our head of state, and I think it's bloody rank. What's the point of having a head of state 20,000 kilometres away if he's going to come into our neighbourhood but bypass us and walk past the front door, not even wave? What's the point of having him? We are a loyal Commonwealth country. We're a strong Western democracy, and I thought we deserved better. This is about the king. If he really wanted to come here, he would have pushed for it. What he says goes. This is his priorities. He's in our cul-de-sac, but he's not going to go there to New Zealand. He may never make it back, and we have plenty of strong ties to him, given him and Diana and William travelled out here all those decades ago. Why has he left us off the list? Someone just said to me, Tama said he saw Luxon and said, no thanks. I'm not sure that was it, but I've got a point about that shortly. Why has he left us off? Schedule too tough? Come on, he flies and lives like a king, right? I mean, all the best of everything. He's got all the best medical care. I know he's been crook, but he's the king. And we're one of the colonies. I think it's piss poor. I think it says that we don't matter. You know what it's like when a friend's in town and doesn't look you up? Well, I actually don't know that. But do you know what that is like? This is like that. What have we done wrong? Have we crossed him? Have we been disloyal? It's a snub, isn't it? And surely this can only hasten those who say, let's go Republic. What's the point of having a head of state who doesn't even pop in when he's in the neighbourhood? I mean, are we that far down the sort of totem pole? Lux and I will catch up with them at Chogham at the Commonwealth Heads of Government Conference, no doubt. Imagine that dinner. That'll be a laugh a minute, won't it? Yes, fun. Are we downing the booze? Maybe we're missing nothing at all.
It's the Slam Dunk.
So that is us. Thank you so much for tuning in to Duncan, Garner, Editor-in-Chief Live with Lester's Oil, the premium New Zealand-made fish oil supplement backed by a study, support joint, heart and brain health. About Health have a $500 Pro Health Pack giveaway running in October with all the orders going in the draw to win. Now you can use the code Duncan for 10% off and an extra entry. Abouthealth.co.nz will give you an extra entry there. Take as directed. Read the label. About Health. Auckland 0800 999 309 999 309 0800 999 309 is the number. Imagine that, though. Go Republic, and then you think the treaty principles is a big debate. My goodness. Wait till that one comes in. Right, that's us. This will be available as a podcast on Rover shortly, and wherever you get your podcasts. Isaac, do you think that the King should pop in? He's in town. He's in Samoa, then he's in Australia. We're literally 2 hours away.
It does seem a little strange that he's not. I mean, the Commonwealth is a pretty big place, and he lives on the other side of the world. So while he's over here, he might as well pop in for a little bit.
Charlie, come on, mate.
So it's a bit strange. I mean,
he doesn't like us.
Yeah, I mean, it is an extra 4-hour flight from Australia.
What? So he can have some hors d'oeuvres.
Oh yeah, I'm sure he'll be treated like a king.
He can have a little fit again to some of his staff. No, I don't want to go there. You know. God, come on, Charlie. Hey, thank you for all your feedback and support today. I'm Duncan at rover.nz. To my team, Isaac, thank you so much, sir. You're the king now, mate. You are the king now, bro. And to Forrester. Forrester's our part-time lover. Thank you, guys. We'll do this all again tomorrow. Remember, life isn't a dress rehearsal. There is no curtain raiser. This is it. We live in one of the best places on earth. So get out and enjoy it. Have a great day. Have a great rest of the day and evening. I'm off to watch Celebrity Treasure Island. You've got to watch tonight. Take care, New Zealand. Ta-da.
That was Duncan Garner, Editor-in-Chief Live. Missed something on the live stream? Text Duncan to 3598 to listen back on the podcast. Want to get in touch? Call 0800 863 293.